start then. I think, let me see if Priska wrote again something. Oh, she's...
Hallo, ich will die Konto abholen. Es ist negativ and
Yeah, okay. Let's start just the two of us. Is that okay for you?
Yeah.
So hello and welcome with another episode of Truthbombs and Bloopers. And today we have a special guest, Jessica Bergström from Sweden. Hello.
Hello.
And today, unfortunately, Priska cannot join because she has a little dog who she has to take care of. But we thought we just gonna do the two of us, because what I prepared for the new year was a question, a topic around how creative people start the new year full of new ideas and new visions. And sometimes I think we can be totally overwhelmed with so much creative ideas in our head. Or the opposite, that we kind of feel overwhelmed with, I don't know what I should do with this year, what comes next, because we have to create our own path. And I'm interested in creating a series with other creative people, artists that inspire me. And for this first episode of this year, I'm very happy to introduce Jessica. Hello, Jessica.
Hello. Hey.
So, Jessica, for everyone who is listening and watching, could you introduce yourself a little bit? Where you're from, what you're doing?
Yes, I can. Well, we've known each other now for almost maybe 20 years or something like that.
Yes.
At the moment, I'm in Sweden. I've been here for almost 10 years now. And I am from Sweden from the beginning as well. Look, I'm showing now. Look, this is what you can do when you're sitting working from home. You can look whatever.
Exactly. At least you're wearing trousers.
I know. Oh God. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So and now we said that we look younger, but we're getting older. We're really old inside.
Very old, wise. We've always knew that we are very old souls, right?
Yes. Yeah. Getting up to 400 or 500 now. And so yeah, I've always been painting for survival since I was very young, and then that has been my kind of way of dealing with a lot of things in life, challenges, and that I kind of studied to become an art therapist in London, and then I've been doing all kinds of things, creating all kinds of things, in the sense that I've been having a restaurant, cooking food. I love color, I love taste, I love all the senses, but I've not really been good with kind of discovering my body, in the sense I've been denying that a bit. So the last few years I've been going on an exploration, inspired by you, Christina, as well, with you know, and I've been painting from my body instead of my mind, and it's been so natural, and so, in the sense that it's just been healing and very much easier than I've ever thought. I had so much resistance to getting to know myself, and the art has just been the fantastic tool for it.
Wow. So how does it look like when you create from your body? Do you have a special ritual, or how you get into your zone?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been kind of exploring, but meditation and kind of getting into contact with my breathing, just to kind of hear my breathing and to feel my stomach. And so I've been listening a lot to Tibetan monks, what is it? Yeah, because the kind of vibration. So I've been very loud, and then I can sense the vibration in my own body, and then I've been every time I have a thought, I kind of delete it, and I go back into listening to my breathing again. So when I'm painting, it's a process and it's taken time, but to be able not to have thoughts when I've been painting, it's been I've been creating so many it's very different from before. Okay. And I kind of lost all my I've been studying art for so many years, and you have to look like this, and you have so many ideas of what art should be and what things should look like, and correct and ugly and bad and blah blah blah, and to let go of all that, so nice,
very liberating.
Yes.
And it was very interesting when you said that when you are painting, you are so aware of your body. You feel your feet, your hand, and that was so interesting for me, because when I'm painting, I feel like I go out of my body. I become the color. I become almost like the energy that I want to transport onto the canvas. And I don't really feel my body anymore. Or maybe after like hours of painting, I feel stiffness. But I really need to move my body, dance or do yoga or stretching to feel it. So that's why I was wondering, are you doing certain movements, or do you just like really paint from that vibration inside?
Because I think, well, I'm left-handed as well, but I kind of have this idea that I'm just opening my heart, which it's a challenge, just that, to open my heart. I mean, I have so many kind of heart lockdowns during the day, but for me it's just to be aware to keep my heart open, and then what happens on the canvas is not, I don't even choose the color, I just do. You just guide it. It's like and then when I finish the painting, I sit down with the painting and I write, and the painting speaks to me. So it's not even then I put the words in my head, but I'm just moving my hand and words are coming out. I don't understand them, but then I can read them and kind of try and work out what it's telling me. But so I continue the process to have some understanding of what it's.
That's beautiful. That's actually exactly the steps that I learned through the soul art process, that you kind of create intuitively, and then you sit with your art and let it speak to you and get the wisdom out that sits somewhere in your body, because there's nothing wiser than your body. There is this wisdom somewhere. So that's amazing. And how has your art helped you to heal? Like, was there, you said in the past few months you kind of painted out of survival. Was there something you had to transform within yourself, or some?
I believe, because what's going on in the world at the moment as well. When I open up, I've always struggled to know what's mine and what's that's, and I've been very open to other energies and feelings, and so for me it's been survival in the sense that to kind of go back to myself, especially now when so much fear going on, so much fear, and people are shutting down their hearts because they need to protect themselves, and it's a collective fear, and to step out of that and connect with myself, it's been survival for me, because otherwise I think I would have I lose myself every day in a sense in things, but it's just been my ritual to go back to myself.
Beautiful. And so if you are guiding someone through a art therapy session, I'm sure by now you are very experienced. Is there like a tool that you recommend to people, like now people who are listening, if let's say they have a cluster somewhere in their body, like they feel like aching, there's an emotion, what can you recommend, like as a easy first step for them to open up?
I think one good thing is always to have it close to you, available, because we always have this mechanism defense. Oh, not now. Taking care of ourselves is always something that's scary. So to have art materials available, lying around, and then as well to get rid of all the kind of ideas that it should be something, to close your eyes and just have a brush and a paper and just close your eyes and feel just what's going on. So don't even look, don't even open your eyes, and just start to kind of feel movement, start to feel it's a way to, it helps.
So without any expectation what it should look like, or that it has to be a piece of art, something you want to hang up, or like a next Picasso, but like just a more like a tool for bringing the energy out of your system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's some music, to listen to music while you, so all these kind of different senses. But I think it's also important to feel that you're in a space where you feel safe, or you feel comfortable, because there's some, it's very easy to get distracted and come up with excuses and blah blah blah, because we have a very strong ego here telling us things all the time to get away from going inside. So always to create a space where it helps to go inside as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, we can link your art somewhere below, because what I admire in your art, what I told you before, is I can really see the healing in your art, but the healing is very down to earth. It's something that I can almost feel in my own body, where you have been healing in your art, and you have developed a very clear style. I think if I would find a painting here in Switzerland, I would immediately know this is Jessica's. And I think whatever you create, it's always so very high quality. And for the people who are listening, we actually met during when we lived in London. You went to Wimbledon School of Art and studied stage design, right? And I was studying dance, and in our final year, Wimbledon School of Art and London Contemporary Dance School joined, and in our final year we had to do a final piece. And remember, we were like in this room together for hours, getting to know each other, and then we had to choose one person that we would like to work with, and we both chose each other. And I was looking at you, and it was like, wow, this woman is so inspiring. I immediately felt the connection, and then we had this amazing creative exchange. We would sit together for hours, and I felt like we speak the same creative language, right? And like this piece that we created is so dear to my heart. And do you still do some stage design sometimes?
Yes, I've been, but mostly film now. Not live in that sense, which is a totally different kind of work. And because what I miss is, I always think, the flow we had, I've never had it with anyone else. It was just amazing.
It was unique.
It was totally unique, and it was a very good start to start off the career like that,
Of course.
But I've been now looking for it, but I can't find it.
No. So, someday we will create something together again. Yes. And I feel also the creative process is something that each of us has to go through different phases. And what was so beautiful was that we were kind of like a ping pong, like you had an idea and then I had an idea, and it was like so inspiring. And I felt like it doesn't really matter what we do, it will be amazing, because this was this joint force, this joint creative force. And this time is truly dear to my heart.
Me too.
And yeah, so I prepared some questions to fire up the conversation around creativity, because I'm always interested in how other creative souls manage their life, how they live with their art, or how living artfully, starting from your journey, you got here where you are. Was your family always supportive in like supporting you as an artist, or did you have to box through to become an artist?
Yeah, I think I did that anyway, even though they always been supportive, but I think I've always been kind of tough with myself anyway, in the sense that I should have studied economy or something like the and I should get a proper job, and it's so much easier to have a job to go to and know it, blah blah blah. I've been dealing with those, I think it's just been my own, not my parents saying that.
But you always felt you had to follow the creative path.
Yeah, I can't even see how I could have done it another way. It's just like, but I've never seen myself as an artist, or I've just been thinking I've been doing things to survive, kind of thing. Yeah, I've never really looked at myself as doing something good or doing a job, or but like you said as well, I've been creating in different ways, like a restaurant, cooking food, blah blah. It's a way of being creative. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I feel like you have this richness of, I think you are someone who just knows how things need to look like, that there is harmony, or that there is a beautiful constellation of colors and shapes. You have this sense of style and design, I feel. And when I lived with you, even though sometimes through distance, but we're always, over these 20 years, I felt like whatever life threw at you, it was creativity that helped you go through that and create something amazing out of it. Once I visited you in Sweden, and then suddenly you had this cafe, and it was like, I've never ate so good and so beautiful in a cafe, and you've never done it before. Yeah, I think you're very good in teaching yourself things very quickly, right?
Yeah, and also, I deal a lot with this kind of controlling kind of person as well, being in control. That can also be creative or controlling. Because when that takes over, I'm not nice to myself. So I need to be aware of that, controlling or being creative.
Yeah, the perfection. You mean the perfectionist inside?
Yeah.
That, I think that's the downside of being creative. I think we all know it, and I think that's why I chose this topic in the start of the year, because we are so good in creating these new goals, and we want to, it's a new year and fresh new ideas, and I want to do this and this and this, and then mostly at the end of January people are starting to get a bit frustrated already. And how to deal with this inner perfectionist and this inner voice who keeps wanting us to do things the way the ego wants it to look like. And I often feel very overwhelmed when I have free time, or almost like a blank page, or when things start, because I can, sometimes I feel like a idea station. I wish I could sell the ideas, because I have too many. And for me, it's really to focus on one thing and come back to it. So do you have any rituals to kind of calm this inner perfectionist, or you said the controller inside? How do you feel at the start of the year?
It's actually now, because of this weird world we're living in, I've been making excuses that it's not like it used to be anything anymore, which is quite nice, because it never is like it used to be. But now I have an excuse not to have any goals, or because I just kind of totally given up on planning anything. I mean, or preparing for. So I'm just really, which I'm thankful for what it has given us. I think we still haven't got it though, humanity. So it's going to go on for some more time, that we need to actually just see that changes happen and that we should be in the now more. And but rituals, yeah, I mean, I listen a lot to different voices in my, in my head anymore. I put them in my hair. I listen to Eckhart Tolle and Byron Katie and Alan Watts. I love Alan Watts. To just, and then I hear the voice, I kind of just get, meditation. I just need to hear the voice to remind me to go inside. So that's what I do, and it's very easy now to do that, because you just have earplugs and you put the phone on Spotify or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes to overwrite your own voice to
exactly. No, and as well, I've been a lot, this sounds, I'm getting old, Christina, in the sense that I've been in the doing a lot of gardening.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes.
But I've been digging. Digging and digging roots, and it's been so healing. So nice.
I know. Gardening is so healing. Yes, I feel the same. Yes. Soon in our straw hats. And I actually look forward to getting older and like have even more time for the garden, because I just love it. Yeah, me too. And also because I feel like I'm so interested, or my art is so inspired by nature, so they go kind of hand in hand, and nature is actually my biggest inspiration. Always. And the more I surround myself, or I mean, we are nature, but like the more I go out of those four walls and I'm outside with nature, I feel totally okay. Everything is okay.
It's very symbolic, these four walls we're inside, it's kind of just to open the door and go out. And it's the same, just open it up here and let it all out, because, true.
Absolutely. So do you sometimes feel that you are creatively constipated, or almost like too much creative energy within you?
I don't know if I have. I can't force it on me. So I have, I can be very creative, and then I kind of rest from it, in the sense I need to rest. So for me as well, it kind of takes and gives energy, but I've kind of learned to rest in between as well now. And then I've never done the same thing in my life. I mean, I worked with all kinds of things, and now I've started, a little therapeutic kind of clinic space. So then I know maybe that's also being a bit creative. I don't know. Is it?
Of course it is. Everything is.
But then I can focus on that.
I'm sure your space looks amazing and is a little piece of art in itself. You are very good in designing rooms, and I'm sure your house looks like from living Mac.
No, but the clinic, the room I have where I have meet clients for therapy, I've isolated it well. That was my first thing, to isolate it. So, you can stand in that room and scream and be loud and just feel like, you feel safe. And then I've put a soft rug as well on the floor. And so the space is kind of workable in that sense.
Beautiful. Well, how do you deal with like accomplishing your creative goals? Like, for instance, when you preparing for an exhibition, do you just paint, and then when you have enough paintings, you set up an exhibition, or do you have like, do you work for a creative goal, or how do you kind of manifest your creative dreams?
Yeah, it's always like I go on the feeling kind of sense. Now I've been painting period, and then some people were, you know, getting in contact and wanted to buy them, and I was like, no, because I'm not ready yet. I'm not done. You know, when I'm, you know, I'll let you know. And then I have to have the exhibition at that date, because then I know. So it's all kind of just happens. Yeah. And then now the paintings, you know, it's not the most important thing to sell them. I'm like you with that thing with the money. I don't even want to charge, you know. I'm like, you can have it, but I know that's not how to do it. But to put a value, you know, put a value on a painting, it's like very difficult, I find.
Yeah, I think it's a process. I had to learn it, that there is an exchange of energy, you know, when if I decide that I want to create that as a living and do it not just as a hobby but as a business, then, you know, I have to sell things, otherwise it's not a business. And it was a process for me to kind of not feel ashamed to ask for money, you know, in the beginning, no matter if it was a painting or if it was a coaching session or a teaching session. When I asked for the money, I realized I blushed. I felt so uncomfortable. And I just, you know, just give me whatever you want. And, you know, I did, but then I wasn't really satisfied, because I knew I put all this energy in, and you know, the money for the paint, or so I had to learn it. And I really did a lot of money courses around the energy of money, how to, and the more, you know, I learned around this topic that it's just the energy. And one of my teachers gave me this assignment, and she said, okay, now please, for 2 weeks, you're gonna draw something that symbolizes money for you and something that symbolizes your art. And you just draw them for 2 weeks and just observe how they relate to each other. And then I realized that, you know, I saw my art almost like this rich flower, or almost like a goddess, like Lakshmi or something. And then the money was a dragon, but it was like a very distant dragon. It was almost like scary to me. And they were like far apart. They did not want to touch each other. And I did this, I did this exercise really for 2 weeks. And in the end of the 2 weeks, the goddess was riding the dragon, and they were a team. And the dragon started to transform into a really cute, almost like Fuchur from the Never-Ending Story, you know. And since then, I really used the symbol as the dragon as my, almost like my spirit guide, who helps me in business to either find clients, or, you know, I just give the dragon the job to guide me to the next step. It was really interesting. I wasn't aware that I was so distant from the energy of money, you know, that I could not really connect them first. So I can really recommend this exercise to anyone who has who feels like they're struggling with asking for money when, you know, when they sell something.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because then also I realized, for instance, if we go and have a doctor's appointment, a medical appointment, or a dentist appointment, you know, you are so used to getting a bill. You expect that the bill will be, yeah, not a low price.
Big.
Yes, you expect it.
Yeah.
But then,
Yeah.
you know, for instance, with an art therapy session or a coaching session, or you can change people's lives. And then why should you know, ask for so little if it can change your life? And I started to look into, okay, where do I accept to pay a lot, and why, and where do I see my value? And I realized, actually, I see my value as something that can help people. So I have to I have to start being confident in asking for the same price like I would pay for a dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I, working as a therapist, but now I'm now also a cognitive behavioral therapist, because that is so much more accepted in the society. So, and a lot of people kind of so then for me as well, to have that kind of those labels, it makes it, then I can, okay, strange, but that's how things are as well. It's kind of so that helps me now working as a therapist, even though it's just another tool, and I kind of I have it. So you create your own method anyway, but sometimes things like that help as well for me to feel like, okay, then but the money thing is difficult. It's always been to see that we have a value and worth, and
I think it's a collective wound that somehow, I mean, I grew up with parents who kind of taught me, if you're gonna choose a creative path, if you want to be a dancer, you're gonna struggle and you're gonna be the starving artist. That's really how I grew up, and I believed it. And I remember before I went to London to study dance, I almost looked forward to being this poor starving artist. I had this image of me like being in this tiny cold apartment and like just living my dream and just dancing my whole life and freezing at home, maybe having like 2 sets of clothes, and then when I lived this reality, I realized, oh no, it's not it's not so enjoyable.
No.
But I was still believing that, okay, I either have to choose being creative or having another job who gives me money. I lived with that belief for so long, and until a coach told me, well, don't you know artists who are very successful, who like sell their art for good money, or who have an amazing business and make a living from their art? And I started to study artists who were successful, and I kind of had to change my belief system around what it means to lead a creative life, not in starving artist mode, but in abundance. But yeah, I think some parts of me still believe that it has to be a struggle. I'm still working on it.
Yeah, I feel like you're a bit ahead of me in that process, Christina.
Well, I think that you have something very natural, that you are kind of like a people magnet, that you I don't know, you create something and then people want to have it. You have this magnetic aura around you, and people trust in your quality. So I think maybe you don't even need the school I had to go through.
Oh, that's very kind words.
You know, what you just said, you know, people saw your paintings and they wanted to buy it without you even thinking about it. So that's a beautiful, that's how I think you do life. You go very much with the flow, and then whatever life throws at you, you create something with it. Yeah, that's very inspiring. So I have some more questions. Do you have like your own creative space where you create? You wrote me something that you have a space where you feel safe in. How does that look like for you?
Well, yeah, because I mean, having a child and then having also not husband, a man, living and who has children too, is a lot of, you know, energies going on. So I've actually I had my own little building, a tiny little, yeah.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's a tiny little house, a studio. So I just walk through the garden, small little garden, still a garden, and then I have this kind of one room little studio where I have my easel and I have a armchair and some books and paint. And that's when I go, when my little daughter Grace has gone to sleep at around 8:30 every evening, I go out there and I can do whatever I want.
Wow. Oh, that's so, oh, I'm coming over.
Yes.
Oh, I dream about this space somewhere in the garden. You know, we have right now a garage, and my dream would be to kind of get rid of the garage and create a studio there, which is kind of on one level it's a yoga studio, a dance studio, and on the other, on top is like my art space. That would be a dream, but right now my father still wants to have his car in there. So I need to be patient with that.
So no, but it's nice for me to leave the house in that sense.
Enter a new energy.
So that's where I feel safe. I can just be in silence with myself, which as well is rare. You know, I think about it a lot, that it's very rare that we are silent on our own and together, you know, as a family. It's always words and or sound noises and
distracting. And when you're very open, you kind of, you're like a sponge. You're so it's good to have your own space, like What would you recommend to your younger self if let's say you were when we met 20 years ago, and she had a dream to become I don't know what would you recommend her in that sense?
I've been trying to discover my little Jessica for long now, and it helped to get Grace, my own, I mean, to connect, you know, with the child in that sense. But what I would, you know, 20 years back, I'm thankful that I was curious about and not too scared of trying things out. Actually, so I have no regrets. I suppose I could say I was a bit too destructive, maybe, in my sense of harming myself. I think I've done too much. I should have been more lovable to myself, and more accepting to myself. I think my inner judge was kind of me, I think, when I was and now I can see my inner judge and kind of say goodbye. Bye it was like she had taken over me. So to being a bit more aware maybe about my thoughts and feelings towards myself. And then I met you, and you opened up, you know, that universe to me, Christina. So I'm forever ever thankful for that, honestly, from my heart. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. We started to read the same books and stuff. Yeah. But at the same.
And you didn't have a television.
Really, do you remember
I remember.
that?
Yeah, and I was like, what? Because I was like watching TV. That was my escapism. And I'm like, what do you do?
But I think in that apartment, I think we were 5 people in that apartment. And throughout all the years in London, I didn't have a TV, and I didn't miss it. And I realized I was just enjoying the books and so much more. And then when I got together with Chris, he was watching a lot of TV. And to the point where we started to watch stupid, shows where I always fell asleep every evening. And then I had to get up and go to the bed, and I always felt like I ate junk food. And then one day I got a new plant, and I actually planned to put it somewhere there. And I put it there, and I realized, no, this looks terrible there. It doesn't fit. I was looking around the room, and it was like, okay, where could I put? And then I saw the TV corner, and then I'm just gonna try put the TV away, put the plant there, and I was like, oh, such an exhalation. The plant was perfect there. But then I put the TV back again, and then Chris came home and I said, look, this plant, I don't know where, but in this corner it looks perfect. And before, I always felt like something in the living room was missing, or something wasn't harmonious in this corner. I put the plant there, and he said, wow, this plant has to be there. Where could we put the TV? So we walked around the house, and wherever we had a TV plug-in, it was like either in the children's room or in our sleeping room. It just didn't fit. And we said, okay, we're gonna put it we put it in the basement, and we see how we go without the TV. And that time I just got a new laptop, and it was really nice resolution. And we said, we're just gonna watch through the computer. And since then, we don't have a TV anymore. Everything we watch, we select on the computer. The kids watch their DVDs, and you can see the plant over there. That's where the TV was. It's still there. Yeah, we don't have a TV, so I'm still in that TV-less reality.
Wonderful. Oh. Yeah. I was thinking that, actually. I thought, okay. Mm.
Yeah. Mm. And I really don't miss it. I don't really have time for TV. And it also, I did a course kind of like you. When my little children went to bed, I studied. So for like 2 years, I never had time to watch TV, and then I kind of slowly came off TV again.
Yeah, I don't like watching TV anymore, and I can regret that I just flew into the TV world a lot, instead of going into silence. So that's something. Yeah, I've been wasting a lot of time in front of the TV. So now I feel I have no longing at all. I feel I get very picky if I'm going to watch something, and put my time onto that. It needs to be something that I can
really something inspiring. I feel also people waste so much time with just watching TV, but like nonsense. Now I feel like if I have time or like spare time, I want to do something with my own energy more than, of course, sometimes we go to the movie theater, or we but not just sit in front of the TV just to distract my mind with nonsense. So is there something you would like to share, some truth bombs or some words of wisdom that we haven't touched about, the creative path, or anything something that moves you at the moment, some insights that you had, which you think could support someone or inspire someone?
What comes to me is that we need to be just nicer to each other, in the sense that to thyself, because we are so constantly trying to be a better person and blah, blah. We have so many ideas that we should achieve in different ways, and I think I really recommend just to kind of take a step back and just practice resting and not doing anything, because even if it's 5 minutes a day, just to sit and feel, it's totally fine to do nothing, and then you can increase that, because we haven't been taught how to rest and how to do nothing. We're just being taught how to create and how to do things. And now I get shivers in my body, because this is probably so true to me. But just to be kind to myself, and and it's okay to rest and just do nothing.
Beautiful. And do you have any book recommendations for people who are listening, inspiring books that transform your life?
Well, everything by Eckhart Tolle. and Byron Katie as well. I mean, she's they are different in many ways, but I think it all comes back to our mind, and how the thoughts, and they are very good at creating a space between the thought and ourselves. They have great tools for that. So.
What's your favorite one by Byron Katie?
Well, the first one, I think I got that when we were loving what is. And it's basically, because then you can go into a case study and just read, what's, so I have that close to me. And I listen, it's so great now. You can listen to the books as well, which is so nice.
Yes. Beautiful. Okay, so thank you so much for this inspiring conversation, and I will link where people can follow you below, and thank you so much, and we see you maybe for another conversation. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.